Hey everyone, welcome back to RJK English. Today we're going to talk about optimism and pessimism. I talk about this a lot with students. They are very interested in this and they bring this up a lot. Optimism is an outlook. What is an outlook? An outlook is literally like you have your eye here, right? This is the eye. Looking out from your face, here's your nose. You're looking out at the world. But your brain affects what you see. When someone comes up to you, are they dangerous or are they not dangerous? Sometimes your outlook affects if you see them as dangerous. If you believe that everyone is scary and they might hurt you, when you look out, all you see is people that are scary. In the same way, when you look out at the world and you see a world that you can't affect the world, nothing good is going to happen, it affects how you approach the world. This is called an outlook. It can also be called your view on the world, or your outlook of the world. Outlook of or view on. Okay? So all of us know people like this, and each of us has a bit of this in us, okay? Some people are optimists. Let's change this to STS, optimist, and that makes it a noun. They are optimists. They are an optimist, and when we make it plural, we put an S on it. Other people are pessimists. But when we talk about optimism and pessimism, we're talking about the noun of being in the state of being optimistic. Optimism, pessimism. So optimism has the outlook that there are opportunities out there. I can get things done. There are good things in the world. I can pursue them. Everything is not useless. Pessimism, at its extreme, says everything's bad in the world. I cannot affect the world. People are not doing good in the world. So which one will get you out of the house? Maybe you still have pessimism, but you have to be realistic, so you leave the house. But optimism in general will cause you to act more. But how does optimism actually work? One of my students, he's from Hangzhou, he had a really good point. He said some people act optimistic, but they aren't optimists. Okay, what does he mean? How can you act something but not be something? Let's say you are a nice person. If you are a nice person, what will you do? You will act nice. You will do nice things, right? But what if you aren't a nice person and you want to trick someone? You can act nice, but you aren't nice, right? So he says there's some people out there that act optimistic, but they aren't really optimistic. I said, can you give me an example? He said, let's say there is a company that is going to, that is firing people at work. They are laying people off, kicking them out of their jobs. And one of the people that you work with says, oh, everything will be fine. To say everything will be fine. He's acting optimistic, right? But is it really optimism? It's possible he could actually get kicked out of his job, right? What will he do after that? Is he taking any action? No, he's more hoping and avoiding. He's avoiding the future by not thinking about it. So we have to talk about optimism with realism and action. True optimism acts. Optimism doesn't mean that you don't see problems in the world. Optimism means, let's use that same situation. There are people getting laid off in the company. How can you act optimistically? You could think, oh, that's really bad. I could get fired. Okay, that's realism. You really could get fired. It's possible. What can I do? Now you start thinking about things you can do. Why are you acting? Because you're optimistic. You think, I can affect the world and I can make my life better. So what do? Maybe you start trying to move up in the company. You start to make yourself necessary in the company. You get there really early and maybe you kiss up to your boss, That's one way because you want to keep your job. You want to be one of those that isn't fired. The other thing you could do is think about your other options. Maybe you need to get another job. Maybe there are opportunities in a different type of job that you hadn't considered. So you sit and think about it. Notice what you're doing. You're acting. Because you could, but there are other good things out there. This isn't the only job. See how that is optimism? This isn't the only job. I can find something else. And maybe you research and you realize, this job doesn't have there's not many jobs in this field anymore. I maybe need to get into something else. And maybe that means you need to learn some new skills. That's optimism, right? You're going to work on those skills, but you're being realistic about the world. What are you doing? You're increasing your chances that you will have good outcomes. Pessimism would look at this situation and say, there's nothing I can do. If they fire me, I don't know. Well, I'll do something. But there's nothing I can do. And it can even go further because, again, it's a worldview. Oh, there's nothing good in the world anyways. Oh, this stuff always happens. Everything's bad, right? We all know people we've all been around people like this, and it's very tiring, okay? Now, that's not to say that there aren't bad situations. There are countries where you don't have many options. There are countries like that, so you need to be realistic. There are situations where there aren't a lot of options, so you need to be realistic. But an optimist will plan and put a plan in place. That is true optimism. If you are following our book Siddhartha, you can see the videos that I'm doing on Siddhartha. Siddhartha is being called to action. He doesn't see the world as useless, but he does see that he's not happy. So what does he do? Does he lay down and die? Does he go out and just drink all the time and sleep with a whole bunch of people and, no. I mean, I'm not saying it's not good to party, go out and party or whatever, or have fun in some way that you enjoy. But he doesn't just go into all pleasure and what is that? You're avoiding the world. He doesn't do that. He goes out to find the truth. This is optimism. Okay? So I hope this is useful to you to talk about optimism and pessimism, to talk about outlook, talk about realism, and to talk about action. See you guys. Hi everyone, welcome to RJK English. Make sure to like and subscribe, and that will help me make more of these videos. I'm on YouTube and on Instagram, and see us on Facebook, and we can talk further.